Who's got notes? Who's got receipts? We keep all of them around here. Good morning, everybody. Paul Ihander with you on this Tuesday morning. Max Goren is here as well. The final Tuesday, the final day of the month of June. Yes, calendar-wise, you can tear off all the cats and test tubes and comics on those calendars. After today, you will have 6 more months to run out the clock on 2026. And as the clock runs out on a lot of things, one of them happens to be the dead period. Or, so to speak, not quite the dead period, a very active period when it comes to the NHL, where free agency technically opens 1 day from now. 1 day and just under 3 hours. Noon start tomorrow for the NHL free agency. And in past years, NHL free agency has meant quite a flurry of action, especially for the Carolina Hurricanes. Right when that July 1 hits, Carolina Hurricanes usually roll out with a few things, sign a handful of guys. They've done so in the past. Now, last year, it took us a few days to get Nick Ehlers under contract. That worked out pretty well. Right away, extensions were signed and trades were made for guys like Ihander Miller, Jackson Blake, Logan Stankoven in years prior. Extensions for Jacob Slavin. And this year, it's a little different for the Carolina Hurricanes. And it's a little different for the entire NHL right now because the free agency has been impacted by a couple of things. One, simply put, the class wasn't as strong as it had been in years past. A lot of the so-called superstars in the NHL either kind of re-upped before their time was up, or they just never hit the market to begin with. The other is the NHL's economy has absolutely changed. The NHL's economy has changed because of the rising salary cap, and not just 1 year, but now we're talking consecutive years of cap lifts, to where right now the Carolina Hurricanes, your Stanley Cup champion defending Carolina Hurricanes, still have $11 million to work with. And that is as of right now. That doesn't include a few things that may or may not happen. The one thing, and here's the challenge that I have, as someone who comes on with you on a daily basis, and I apologize for being away for a couple of days, but I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Needed some time off and had to deal with some personal stuff. It's usually how it works with me. It's never vacation. It's always just personal stuff. But as we come back and we have these conversations here, I've had this talk out loud in the hallways with others, including Max, about how much players are worth in the new NHL economy. And either what I need to do is, after having these conversations, come out and yell to the high heavens and say it and post it or whatever it is and do that immediately, or I wait for someone to come out and have the same GD idea that I had and just acknowledge that that idea is now out there and in full effect and in existence. Sometimes I save the best stuff, and it doesn't get out there until after somebody else puts it out and go, yep, I agree with that. And so I will acknowledge, like we do Roman Reigns in WWE as the tribal chief, I will acknowledge that it has been put out there that the NHL's economy is so different that the money that is being paid to Jesperi Kotkaniemi is very reasonable for what they are getting for him in terms of output at $4.8 million. And that when that deal was signed and that he has a modified no-trade clause with a 10-team no-trade clause list, and that they could buy him out, there's no reason to at this point because of the money that has been paid to the so-called lower-end centers in the NHL with similar production. And you only have to turn to the deal that Jack Drury signed over the weekend. That at $4.5 million, Jack Drury, who was a fourth-line guy in the NHL, never really ascended above that in Colorado. They tried to throw him in situations, but his productivity in the postseason was not good. That at 4.8, we need to stop thinking about the idea of buying out Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Just stop it. And as everyone wanted to do, let's buy him out. Let's get him out there. It's money that's sitting in the press box that we can't use. It's the exact money that's being paid, and the Carolina Hurricanes are unique in this situation, right? You're fresh off a Stanley Cup championship. You have a Stanley Cup. You've been talking about it for years. You finally get the opportunity, and you made the most of it. And in the interim, as you were building this team through Don Waddell's moves, and you were building this team through Eric Tolsky's moves, you were very cost conscious. And because you were cost conscious, because you watched that bottom line, you were striking deals with players for money that was applicable at the time. You were shopping with coupons, and you had one of the ultimate double coupons. Remember double coupons back in the day? You'd have to clip these things out, and I don't know if some of you remember double coupons, but you could have like a 50-cent coupon for toilet paper, and then for some reason that day or on a Tuesday or whatever it was, the grocery store or the IGA or the co-op or whatever it was doubled your coupon. The Carolina Hurricanes had a double coupon sitting on their bench in Rod Brindamore. He was the double coupon. So I could sign guys to numbers that were lower than what we are seeing now as we start becoming little less cap conscious, because now we find ourselves with a little bit more money, which is why you can dangle $7.5 in front of Keandre Miller and $8.5 million in front of Nikolai Ehlers. I'm not saying those guys aren't worth it. They absolutely were, because you have a cup. Those dudes were worth it. And you look at Andrei Svechnikov and you're like, 7.75. Okay. And then you look at the shrewd deals for Logan Stankoven and Jackson Blake. The NHL economy is so different now that that number that has been assigned to Jesper Kotkaniemi is not even out of bounds when it comes to what guys are being paid. As a matter of fact, if I start looking down the rest of this class or the rest of the roster for the Carolina Hurricanes, some guys are severely underpaid for the market, and I think that's an understanding with the Hurricanes too, that in a year or two, if extensions don't get done or they decide not to get extensions done, with Shane Gostisbehere, Jalen Chatfield, Jordan Staal, Jordan Martinook, that the number won't go down. It will be equivalent because they still have money to play with. I'm excluding John Carlson from this conversation for right now. I know they traded for his rights. Maybe they get something done. Maybe they don't. I'm excluding Alexander Nikishin from this conversation just for right now. That will come up here in a hot second. That's Max. I'm Paul. Next up here on 99.9 The Fan. The NHL economy has changed the way NHL teams have done business. The amount of trades that continue to happen as we speak to you right now are still churning through the pipeline. The Florida Panthers are re-gearing up with old faces. The Toronto Maple Leafs are getting ready to spend some money and make some more moves. It seems like the San Jose Sharks are trying to get things going again, and the Nashville Predators are taking all come one, come all. And now the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I don't know what it is with Don Waddell. Maybe it's Don Waddell. Nobody wants to play there in Columbus. Maybe they want to come here to the Columbus with more pine trees.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't have enough pine trees there, so maybe that's why people maybe that's why free agents don't want to sign.
That list of players available for trades continues to grow. Guys who have publicly declared they are not going to play for their current teams once their contracts expire. And we're talking 2 years in the case of Zach Werenski and Kirill Marchenko. Columbus. They want out. So Don Waddell's got to go get something for him. He has to. Dylan Larkin still is in Detroit. I don't get that one at all. Maybe other teams are just sitting and waiting. I don't get that one at all. And you look at the potential players in the NHL that could still be traded and get moved on. That economy changed. The NHL economy changed that marketplace to where teams are more willing to make trades because they have more money to work with. Nobody is truly cap-strapped anymore now that they've made moves. Colorado is not cap-strapped anymore. They got a guy to pay. They got to pay. And Cale Makar, they got to pay that dude. Like money. Like 15, 17 million. There's money to be had. Carolina Hurricanes are in a weird bit because they have all these really good coupon-y contracts. That's the best way to put it. Is it efficient? Yeah, you could call it efficient. I think there's a million ways you can dance around the vocabulary of what the Carolina Hurricanes have done. Some would go, they've been efficient. Some would go, man, they're just getting cheap dudes. Others are like, well, they understand the game and they gamed it. The game is coming to an end in the NHL when it comes to finding different contracts. The Carolina Hurricanes sign a guy like John Carlson, and if the number is true and dangled out there, if they could get him at 7 over term, That would be a win for the Carolina Hurricanes. But he wants more money. His agent wants more money. It has been put out there that he wants more money. Can they get it done? Can they swap him again for some more picks or something like that? I mean, I guess it's worth the effort just to chat. What are you doing with a 6th-round pick for the Carolina Hurricanes, or a 4th-round pick, or a 5th-round pick, or a late day, whatever you want to call it? What are you doing with that pick? Not much. Not much. That's the price to pay to talk to a guy like that who can do a lot of really key things. Now, let's get down to the screws and bolts here. Someone's going to throw me a rope on this one. Like, I am in deep water, and I am sinking 6 feet under here with this one. I don't like the idea of letting Alexander Nikishin go right now. I think it's silly.
I don't think anybody loves it. Obviously, we waited such a long time to finally see him over here on North American ice when he was hyped for a few years as one of the best defenseman prospects in the league, or one of the best defensemen outside of the NHL. And then we get one season with some fun moments, and he was a pretty solid year playing down there on the third pair, largely with Shane Gostisbehere, although some rotating deployment due to injuries on the back end, and he had some opportunities where he played more, had some times where he played less. And then, the playoff run, not necessarily the best for Alexander Nikishin. I don't know how much of that you could attribute to him taking that hit up high with the concussion at the end of the first round. But I think most people would prefer to see him stay. But with the way that this contract negotiation is apparently going, it feels more and more like that is less likely as this kind of draws out with no resolution in terms of having him re-signed. And I understand where he's coming from, too, if it really is about, he wants to have more of an opportunity. Well, the left side of the Hurricanes' decor are locked up for the next 7 to 8 years with experienced, very good NHL players. So it would be hard to unseat either one of them for more of a role. And if I'm the Hurricanes, I'm like, well, let's see how much value we can get then for this young, talented, physical defenseman if his contract ask is not going to meet our value, and if we don't really have a spot for him that's going to satisfy him in the lineup.
And there's the issue. The Carolina Hurricanes have had to revise that sheet for the past couple of years now with the cap going up, and they're going to have to continue to do so as they assign value and metrics to players like this. Alex Nikishin had a very good season. He had a very good season. Played 81 games, okay? Played 81 games in the regular season. In the regular season, played 81 games. In the postseason, deployment, whatever it is, played another 17. That's 98 games on the ice with relative health, okay? 98 games. First full season. The KHL, folks, runs 68 games. 68 in the regular season. He played 81. See where I'm coming from here? In the postseason, it's very rare that they go full best of sevens in their playoffs. And it matches the Stanley Cup playoffs. They play best of sevens. So a maximum of 28 games. If Alex Nikishin played 68 games in the KHL regular season and then played the full 28 in the postseason in the KHL, he would have played 96 hockey games. 96 with full health. He played 98 last year in his full NHL season. 98. This is where the assigned value to a player has to be challenged. This is where you have to think beyond what you're seeing out there. And you're going to go ask your head coach, and he's got a lot to weigh in on this one. Good morning, Stanley Cup winning champion head coach Rod Brindamore, coach and player. You're going to go to your head coach and go, can we make this work? You have to not think about the money at this point when it comes to a guy who's 24 years old, who is playing for, bottom pair minutes at this point. And as Max said, probably not going to get much higher. If he wants to play more, he would have to get dealt. But that's not on the Canes to make that happen. It's really not. He's got the qualifier already. It's in place. No one's going to match, okay, unless there's a team out there that plans on matching. That crap should have been out there already. See, that's the thing. The scuttlebutt about the money on the upper end of what he's asking for, and allegedly it's $8 million. He wants $8 million. Great. But is there another team that's willing to drop $8 million on Alex Nikishin right now? I would wager 20 to 80 right now. You give me plus 200 on this one, I would say maybe. Maybe someone's out there willing to drop $8 million. That's just a random number, by the way. And that 8, as you know, and we all know, when it comes to Carolina Hurricanes, would be top end for this team. He'd be the highest paid defenseman on the Carolina Hurricanes team after playing 98 games in his first full season in the NHL. And no one's saying that he's not worth the money. Well, you know what? I take that back. There's a lot of people saying he's not worth that kind of cash. And if the metrics show that he's not, again, I'm not in that room. If you want to call me, good morning, Eric Tulsky, Professor, Doctor. Eric Bleepin Tulsky. And I say that with all due kindness and all respect because that's what a lot of people are calling you right now, Eric Bleepin Tulsky, because that's what it is. You have a Stanley Cup champion and no one's going to question you. But I think sometimes you have to question. You have to figure out exactly what you are playing with. You made that move to be able to talk to John Carlson for one reason. It's to deal Alexander Nikishin. Because you don't think the value of that is the equivalent to John Carlson. And if they manage to sign John Carlson, who is, not in Raleigh, he's doing something else. He doesn't have to be here. I wonder if they put a uniform together for him just in case. Does he get his name on the cup? Should he get his name on the cup? He's on the team.
What number will he wear if he makes it? 74 is occupied.
True, he's numbered 74. Who's got 47? Anybody got 47? Just flip it.
That's gross. That's a training camp number.
Just flip. Really? You think 47's a gross
47?
number?
I don't know. What would name of 47 in the NHL? There you go.
I can't. Here, hold on. I got to go to Mother Google. Who? Some people are doing the exact same thing now that you put that one out there. Who wears 47 in the NHL? Torrey Krug.
Oh,
Torrey Krug. Mark Kastelik of the Boston Bruins. That's kind of about it. Not too many dudes. Yeah, that's a pretty light. Now there's 10 players that wear it. There are uglier numbers than that. James Reimer. Come on, how do you forget the backstop in Ottawa? James Reimer. Come on. Reimer. This is where it will be well scrutinized. It will be well scrutinized what gets done here in the next few days in the NHL. You will see, and it'll be wonderful fodder for us, who will be massively overpaid and who will be right on the mark. And then you can talk about the Carolina Hurricanes and if they decide to do anything at this point. And for me, if we can teach Logan Stankoven to play center, we can easily swing Jesper Kotkaniemi out to the wing for a while, where Seth Jarvis is going to have to sit for the next 6 months. Like, don't even count on the 4 at this point. 6 is the All-Star break. Come back in the All-Star break. You got your ring. Your boyhood dreams came true in getting your championship. Get yourself fixed up and see really in 27-28 if you can be the player that everyone believes you can turn into. That you have been level, Seth, for the last several years. And whether it was all the beer drinking and adrenaline that came with hanging out with the good old Canadian boys that helped you through the end of this season, great. Bring them around again next year. Do that. But if we can train, and teach and instruct Logan Stankoven to play center, and look what happened to that line. I mean, look. Imagine the rejuvenation that could come with Jesper Kotkaniemi if you just moved him to the wing. I've got all my centers now. But I got a winger that I'm not ready to give up on. I am not ready to give up on at this point. And again, some of that has to do with that NHL economy that is plowing its way.
I'm Max Goren with 3 things you need to know right now from 99.9 The Fan. Duke men's basketball landed a familiar name for their 2027 recruiting class. Con Knippel's younger brother, Cager Knippel, is Coach John Shire's first commitment of the class of 2027. Knippel, a 6'10 forward, is the 44th overall prospect in his class, according to Rivals. The Portland Trailblazers made their first big splash under Tom Dundon's ownership yesterday. Portland acquired Ja Morant from the Memphis Grizzlies in exchange for Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. Morant has played in just 79 games over the past 3 seasons due to injuries and suspensions. Wimbledon got underway yesterday from the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club in London, England. Serena Williams is making her singles return today, facing off with Maya Joint. Williams' last competitive singles match was at the 2022 U.S. Open, where she lost in the 3rd round. For all the latest news on your favorite teams, download the 99.9 The Fan app or visit 999thefan.com.
Serena Williams could lose in straight sets today, playing left-handed, wearing a banana costume, and it wouldn't even be about the opponent. It's about Serena Williams coming back and playing organized tennis. Like, that is the story. That is the absolute story. Good morning, everybody. Paul Ihander with you. That's Max Goren with the update. Appreciate that as always. Freddie Seven's leaving. Well, he's not, but he should be. Boy, it was not a great day if you were a German soccer fan or a fan of soccer in the Netherlands. It was not a good day.
Great day for neutrals, though, because it was 3 games that were all exciting.
Absolutely.
In different ways. You had the Brazil-Japan game to lead off the day yesterday, where Japan takes the 1-0 lead into half, and then Brazil scores the 2 second-half goals, including the one in stoppage time for the winner. Then you go to Germany-Paraguay, where Paraguay does the same as Japan. Underdog takes the 1-0 lead into half, but Germany bounces back with a goal, and that one goes to penalties, where it looked like Paraguay had it wrapped up, and then Germany got too big. They got a big save, a big miss. They came back to from where it looked like they were on the brink of losing to it kind of reset, and then immediately they missed the next penalty, and Paraguay scores to pull off the upset win and knock out a pretty historically successful European side that also normally performs really well in penalty shootouts. And then the nightcap, Netherlands-Morocco. Again, stoppage time goal for Morocco to send it to extra time. That one also goes to penalties. And then Morocco pulls off the upset over Netherlands, who was one of the higher scoring teams in the group stage.
Between Germany and the Netherlands, yeah.
Yeah, held them to just, those are two teams that scored a bunch of goals in the group stage, and then were each held to just 1 in their first knockout game and got sent home in penalties. So it's been great viewing so far in the round of 32, first round of the knockout stage. And
delivered yesterday, for sure.
Even the first game of knockouts on Sunday with Canada and South Africa, that was a stoppage time winner as well for Canada to win that one 1-0. Very exciting stuff. And there's been opposition in terms of expanding the tournament to 48 teams. Maybe have diluted a bit of the team skill level, at least in the group stages, but so far turning into some really exciting knockout stage soccer or football, if you prefer to say it that way.
You want it to be.
It was great viewing, and then today 3 more games. It's just going to keep going. It continues, all week long with these multiple games, and I'm sure there's going to be some more tight finishes and really high drama.
Bangers. Just remember if you feel this way when the college football playoff expands and you talk about dilution and expansion there, what I dislike about this point of the World Cup, and to be honest, much like hockey, can we just extend, let's just play another running halves until we get it done. Penalty kicks to decide. I know the drama that comes with penalty kicks. I totally understand that. But boy, for a side that grinds and grinds and grinds, and if it were the other way, right? Remember, if the other way, thinking about it, if Paraguay had gotten beaten by Germany in penalty kicks, if the Netherlands had come back and taken care of the penalty kicks as well, the drama isn't there. It's just like, all right, well, the champions clashed or whatever it is. This has provided a little bit more just kind of oomph. It has provided a little bit more kind of up. I would rather them play it out. Like, someone just figure it out.
Yeah, that could go on for so long
in
soccer,
but that's the point.
I mean, you see that in hockey.
That's the point. Then you get an extra substitute then. Okay? I can substitute another one on in the next 30 minutes.
Is one enough if they played for 200 minutes or something and couldn't find
well, then we crush
a winner?
it. We crush it at a couple more extra time. How about that? It just feels like an abrupt ending. Because, yeah, I guess we're done. Because are they actually trying to play? We haven't seen any overtime wins, have we?
No, nobody's won in
nobody's
extra time
won in the
yet.
extra time. So we've had to go to penalties, no matter what. So both teams are just like, let's just ride this out till we get the penalty kicks. We're just going to kick it back towards our five there on defense. We'll just kick it around.
Maybe the underdog side would lean that way.
No,
but
park the bus, baby. Just park the bus and get the penalty kicks.
I think it's not for lack of trying. I mean, it's just so tight for these, especially these games where somebody ties it up late, like stoppage time or late second half, and you try to break through. It looked like Morocco too after they tied it up in stoppage time. They were pushing, but them and Netherlands. Morocco controlled a majority of that game, and it just happened to be the Netherlands that broke through with the first goal. But I think they deserved that win, and they were pushing after they got the game tied too. Well, there was still probably 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time left. They were trying to push and get that goal in regulation to end it, just couldn't quite find it. And honestly, Germany probably should have won in extra time as well. They had a goal taken off by the VAR. That was quite controversial. I don't think everybody is necessarily in agreement on that call. I think some of the commentators too disagreed and said should not have been called off. But that those are the breaks. It can't be borderline. You have to. I guess you have to do everything you can to score as cleanly as possible, because if there's any sort of maybe potential foul in the build-up, or if your pinky toe is offside, the VAR will get that, it's going to get called back.
We've seen that in hockey, too. We get rid of Freddie Seven, allegedly. Freddie Seven, the guy that was wined and dined by celebrities and former football players, who was like, we're driving through rural America. We're driving through this, or we're hanging out with these people or whatnot. With the German loss, dude's not leaving. Apparently his plane ticket, which he bought a non-refundable plane ticket or can't afford to change the ticket, which is the weirdest thing in the history of weird things, is going to stay through the end of the World Cup and even longer. Put out a plea saying, well, I don't fly out till July 24th, so what can I do in the meantime? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this dude is independently wealthy, okay? Influencer or not, or whatever it is, go home at this point. Just go home.
Well, I think it's more so just like a vacation for him.
The longest vacation in the history of it. Where are you staying?
Well, it's European. It's European vacation. They get like 6 weeks off or something.
When did the World Cup start? The 11th of June?
Yeah, he's about halfway through.
And then another 3 weeks? Dude's got money. I'm like, come on.
Definitely.
What are we doing?
Look,
what are we doing?
He said he's going to close the account when he goes back to Germany.
Oh, okay.
So.
He should close the account because it's fake at this point. It's absolute fake. Come on. If you hadn't put that out there and you were just kind of rolling through and sleeping in some hostels at this point and just hanging out with just regular rural America, because I get the early part of it, and I do appreciate how awesome the United States has been when it comes to hosting foreign visitors and the reactions that they've gotten. But this one, boy, it's got some, man, you're here for another 3 weeks, and you're like, hey, what can we do? I'm like, no, come on. Max, it's like you and me going to like, hey, let's go to North Dakota. It's a first time ever. Oh, it's so awesome here. It's great. Fargo is wonderful, and I have friends that live in Fargo, so I can say this. It's awesome. So awesome here in Fargo, man. The university's great. The people are nice. There's this great steakhouse. I'm going to eat for free. It's so wonderful here. You think people are going to invite you in their homes like that for like 3 weeks, not make you pay a dime? Come on. Yeah, my flight's not for another 3.5 weeks. I booked a flight within 10 days, was able to change it within 24 hours. Thank you very much, Delta. I'll just put that one out there. Come on. Change your flight. You know what? Take that back. Stay through the 4th. We do fireworks like no other in this country. Like mortar shells, you will hear crap blow up. Matter of fact, we might just blow up stuff for you. We'll just do it. We have fireworks on the 3rd and the 4th. Your neighbors will have them on the 5th and 6th for sure. Except, remember, folks, it's dry. I'm like, do not start fires, please. But we're going to blow stuff up. And we're really good at it in the United States. Like putting stuff in the air. Boo, boo. We're good at that. So stay through the 4th. America 250. And then change your flight, dude. Seriously. Come on. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that stays on the couch for an extra week and an extra week, and then you don't chip in for food. Like, that's what it's starting to feel like right now. You're that friend that came over. Hey, dude, I'm going to hang out for a little bit. Okay, cool. Well, when are you leaving? My flight's not till the 24th.
Yeah, my flight's in 3.5 weeks.
Come on. Come on, dude. Seriously?